What if the strongest version of yourself is hiding behind the habits you avoid every single day? What if discipline isn't something you're born with, but something you build in silence, one decision at a time? And what if the reason your mind feels weak, distracted, or emotionally exhausted is because you've been trained to escape discomfort instead of mastering it? The Stoics believed something dangerous. A man who controls his mind becomes untouchable, not richer, not more famous, untouchable, because when chaos no longer controls you, the world loses its power over you. Most people spend their lives reacting emotionally to everything around them. A bad comment ruins their day. A rejection destroys their confidence. A difficult morning kills their motivation. But the Stoics trained differently. They prepared themselves mentally before life attacked them. And because of that, they moved through suffering with calm most people could never understand. Today we're going to explore 10 daily Stoic practices that build discipline and mental strength. Not motivational tricks, not temporary hacks, but timeless mental habits that can slowly transform the way you think, act, and survive. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some people remain calm under pressure while everyone else breaks apart. The first practice is simple, but most people avoid it their entire lives. Number 1. Start the day with voluntary discomfort. Most people wake up and immediately search for comfort. They grab their phone. They stay in bed longer. They avoid anything difficult, and without realizing it, they train their mind to become weak. The Stoics believed discomfort was necessary not because suffering is good, but because comfort slowly makes you dependent. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that he was created to work, not to indulge endlessly. Every morning was a battle against laziness. Cold showers, early mornings, hard exercise, silence instead of entertainment. These small acts may seem meaningless, but they send a message to your mind. I control myself. My feelings do not control me, and that changes everything. Because discipline is not built during huge moments. It's built in tiny private decisions nobody sees. The moment you choose difficulty instead of comfort, your identity begins to change. And if you stay until the end of this video, you'll discover the Stoic habit that completely destroys emotional weakness and makes your mind almost impossible to manipulate. Number 2. Control your attention. Your attention is your life force. Whatever controls your attention controls you. The modern world is designed to destroy focus. Notifications, endless scrolling, constant noise, and most people don't even realize their minds are no longer their own. The Stoics treated attention like a weapon. They understood that a distracted mind becomes emotionally unstable. Epictetus once said that external things are not the problem. Your judgment about them is the problem. That means your suffering often begins the moment you give something your attention. Disrespectful comment, a negative opinion, someone ignoring you. Most people obsess over these things for hours, but a Stoic asks a different question. Does this deserve my energy? That question alone can save years of emotional exhaustion. Every day, practice reclaiming your focus. Spend time away from your phone. Learn to sit in silence without stimulation. Protect your mental space like it's sacred, because once your attention becomes disciplined, your emotions start obeying you too. Number 3. Practice negative visualization. This practice sounds dark at first, but it's incredibly powerful. The Stoics imagined losing the things they loved, not because they were pessimistic, but because they understood a painful truth. Most people only appreciate life after it disappears. Imagine waking up tomorrow without your health, without your closest friend, without the opportunities you currently ignore. Suddenly, your complaints begin to look ridiculous. Negative visualization destroys entitlement. It forces gratitude into your mind. Seneca practiced this constantly. He reminded himself that everything he loved was temporary, and strangely, this made him calmer, not sadder. Because when you accept that life can change at any moment, fear loses some of its power. You stop clinging desperately to people. You stop panicking over small problems. You begin valuing the present. Most people live as if they have unlimited time. The Stoics never made that mistake, and that awareness gave them strength. Number 4, speak less than you want to. Weak minds react instantly. Strong minds observe first. One of the fastest ways to gain discipline is to control your tongue. Most conflict, regret, and embarrassment come from emotional reactions. People speak out of anger, insecurity, ego, or impulse, then suffer the consequences later. But Stoics understood silence. Not insecure silence, controlled silence. The ability to remain calm when provoked is a form of power most people never develop. When someone insults you, your ego wants revenge. When someone misunderstands you, your emotions want to defend yourself immediately. But disciplined people pause. Because not every battle deserves your response. Sometimes silence protects your peace more than words ever could. Watch emotionally strong people carefully. They don't rush to explain themselves. They don't argue endlessly. They don't react to every opinion. Why? Because they understand something important. The person with emotional control always has the advantage. Number 5, train yourself to finish difficult things. Most people live trapped in cycles of unfinished effort. They start goals with excitement, then disappear when discomfort arrives. The gym becomes too hard. The business grows too slowly. The healing takes too long. So they quit again and again. Eventually, the mind learns a dangerous habit. When things become difficult, escape. This destroys confidence. Because confidence does not come from motivation, it comes from evidence. Every time you finish something difficult, your mind collects proof that you are capable. The Stoics respected endurance more than talent. They believed persistence shapes character. So start training your mind to stay. Finish the workout. Finish the book. Finish the task you promised yourself you'd complete, even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Because discipline grows strongest in moments where your emotions beg you to stop. Number 6, separate what you control from what you don't. This may be the most famous Stoic principle of all, and it can completely change your mental health. Most anxiety comes from trying to control things outside your power. Other people's opinions. The future outcomes. Rejection, the past. You replay conversations, overthink possibilities, stress about events that haven't even happened. Meanwhile, your real power disappears. The Stoics divided life into 2 categories: things you control and things you don't. That's it. You control your effort, your mindset, your actions, your discipline. You do not control how people respond. You do not control luck. You do not control every outcome, and the moment you fully accept this, a strange peace appears. You stop wasting energy fighting reality. Instead, you focus entirely on becoming stronger internally. That's where freedom begins. Number 7, spend time alone every day. Modern people are terrified of silence. The moment they are alone, they search for distraction. Music, videos, messages, noise. Because silence forces you to face yourself. But the Stoics valued solitude deeply. They understood that self-awareness cannot grow in constant distraction. When you sit alone with your thoughts, uncomfortable truths appear. You notice your addictions, your fears, your emotional patterns, the lies you tell yourself. And while that can feel painful, it's necessary, because you cannot improve a mind you refuse to examine. Marcus Aurelius wrote many of his reflections alone, not to impress people, but to understand himself. Spend time each day without external stimulation. Walk alone. Think deeply. Journal honestly. The stronger your relationship with yourself becomes, the less dependent you become on validation from others, and that independence creates emotional strength most people never experience. Number 8. Expect hardship instead of resenting it. This single shift in mindset changes how you experience suffering. Most people secretly believe life should always go smoothly, so when problems arrive, they become bitter. Why is this happening to me? This isn't fair. I don't deserve this. But Stoics expected difficulty, not because they were negative, but because they were realistic. Life includes pain, delays, loss, disappointment. No one escapes this. And once you stop treating hardship like a personal attack, you become far more resilient. Imagine two people facing the exact same problem. One panics because they expected life to be easy. The other remains calm because they prepared mentally for struggle. Who survives better? The Stoics trained themselves. Before suffering arrived, that preparation gave them emotional stability during chaos. So when difficult moments appear in your life, stop asking, "Why me?" Instead ask, "How can this strengthen me?" That question transforms pain into training. Number 9. Detach your self-worth from external success. This is one of the hardest practices in modern life, because society constantly teaches you to measure your worth through results, money, followers, status, attention, validation. And the moment these things disappear, people collapse internally. The Stoics rejected this entirely. They believed your character mattered more than your reputation. A disciplined person remains grounded whether they are praised or criticized, because their identity is built internally. Think about how dangerous that is. Imagine becoming so mentally strong that praise no longer controls you and criticism no longer destroys you. That is freedom. Most people become emotional prisoners because their self-worth depends on external approval. But Stoicism teaches something different. If you act with integrity, discipline, and self-control, you already possess value, even if nobody notices, even if nobody applauds. This mindset creates unshakable confidence because it cannot be taken away by the world. Number 10. Reflect on your day before sleeping. This final practice may seem simple, but it quietly transforms your entire life. Every night the Stoics reviewed themselves honestly, not to feel guilty, not to shame themselves, but to improve. Seneca would ask himself questions like, "What did I do well today? Where did I lose control? How can I become better tomorrow?" Imagine doing this every night for a year. You would become impossible to remain unconscious, because self-reflection exposes patterns. You notice where emotions control you. You notice habits destroying your discipline. You notice the excuses repeating in your mind. And slowly, awareness creates change. Most people repeat the same mistakes for decades because they never pause long enough to examine themselves honestly. But reflection sharpens the mind. It turns life itself into a teacher. And over time, these small daily corrections create massive transformation. That's the real secret behind Stoic strength. It isn't magic. It isn't talent. It isn't motivation. It's daily mental training. Small, invisible choices repeated consistently. The world today encourages emotional impulsiveness, distraction, and comfort addiction. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Control yourself, strengthen your mind, accept discomfort, master your emotions, focus only on what you can control. Because once you conquer yourself, very little in this world can truly defeat you. And maybe that's why Stoicism still matters thousands of years later. Not because it makes life easier, but because it makes you stronger. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.